On the news tonight, Governor Sheriff Oborevwori approves the release of 8.4 billion naira to Delta State Oil Producing Areas Development Commission. Senate signs bill prescribing 14 years in prison for teachers and lecturers found guilty for sexually harassing students. Abroad, global leaders meet to discuss climate action. Good evening. Welcome to the Delta Television Main News. I am Ogaga Ekama. You can also follow our news online on Facebook at Delta Broadcasting Service Asaba and on YouTube at Delta Broadcasting Service Asaba, or visit our website at www.dbsasaba.com. The State Governor, the Right Honorable Sheriff Oborevwori, has approved the release of 8.4 billion naira to the Delta State Oil Producing Areas Development Commission, the SOPADEC, to offset long-standing obligations lingering over a decade. The Commissioner for Works, Rural Roads and Public Communication, Mr. Charles Onyagu, disclosed this while briefing newsmen shortly after a meeting between the Governor and the management of the SOPADEC at the Government House, Asaba. 8Pm.Thursday reports.
Mr. Onyagu said the approval demonstrated the governor's visionary leadership and empathy, affirming that all verified contractors owed 20 million naira and below will be paid 100%, while those owed above 20 million will receive 50%.
For quite some time, there have been a number of individuals who carried out certain jobs in the SOPADEC before Oborevwori became the governor of Delta. A good number of these persons were being owed. And since he came, he has been making effort to ensure that those issues are tackled. And on account of that, he directed the agency to go into proper scrutiny to be able to determine the individuals that are owed and the right amount that are owed to these persons. The agency was able to look into their books, and they discovered that right from 2010, which is 15 years ago, there were individuals who have carried out certain jobs that were not settled. And so today he has directed that 8.4 billion be released to the agency to tackle this liability. And he
also speaking, the managing director of the SOPADEC, Chief Festus Ochonogo, thanked the governor for the approval, stressing that the projects executed by contractors span vital sectors such as road construction, school renovation, water schemes, jetties, and other community development initiatives.
In an attempt to do the more, he has given us 8.4 billion. We are very, very glad. On behalf of the Commission, we are glad. We appreciate this gesture, and we continue to assure him that we will do our best. Because of the sensitivity of the Commission, we will do our best to make sure we don't disappoint me.
He pledged the Commission's readiness to execute more projects in line with its assessment and availability of funds. 8Pm.Thursday reporting.
The State House of Assembly has struck out a petition bordering on alleged encroachment, trespass and illegal development of plots of land situated at Opanam in Oshimiri North Local Government Area, reportedly allocated to members of the Women Affairs Multipurpose Cooperative Society Limited. This followed the adoption of the report of the House Committee on Public Petitions at plenary. Favor Kafo reports.
Presenting the report, Chairman of the committee, Honorable Matthew Omonade, explained that under the provisions of the Constitution, judicial powers, including the determination of land ownership and the award of compensation, rested solely with the courts and not with the legislature.
That pursuant to Section 6(b) of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria amended, judicial powers, including determination of land ownership and award of compensation, belong only to the courts and not the legislature. That while a state house assembly can investigate a land dispute, recommend compensation and summons officials or agencies of government involved, it cannot legally adjudicate or issue binding decisions declaring who owns land or how much compensation will be paid, as those powers belong exclusively to the courts.
With the committee's recommendation, the petition was unanimously struck out by the House. The Speaker, the Right Honourable Emomotimi, thereafter directed the Clerk of the House to communicate the resolution of the House to all relevant authorities. Favor Okafo, reporting.
In line with efforts to enhance food sufficiency and encourage family gardening, the Delta Broadcasting Service, DBS Asaba, has floated the DBS Garden Initiative. The General Manager of DBS Asaba, Mr. Christian Jobeme Metulu, disclosed this while declaring open a nutrition awareness program organized by the TechnoServe in partnership with the Horticurity Project and Niage Integrated Services Limited, held at the DBS premises. Again, Favor Carfor reports.
Mrs. Emetulu explained that the new initiative was part of the station's contribution to strengthening domestic production and self-sustenance in food security. She said the visible agricultural efforts of the DBS Asaba had already attracted interest from the state head of service as well as the Ministry of Agriculture and Natural Resources, with plans to formally incorporate the station into government agricultural schemes. The DBS Asaba GM said the station was open to working with individuals, corporate organizations, government establishment, and development partners in pushing food sufficiency and healthy nutrition to the grassroots. She commended the facilitators for choosing DBS as host for the training on selected fruits and vegetables.
When it has to do with farming, when it has to do with agriculture, is a measure of economic empowerment for us. So what you have come to do for the staff of DBS is to empower us economically for that which have not spent the fruits and vegetables you have saved for us by extension.
The project manager in the Horticurity Services, Mr. Kazim Omiyele, lauded the DBS management for consistently supporting initiatives that promoted national well-being. He said the group remained committed to mobilizing women on fruits and vegetable cultivation and increasing national awareness on nutrition.
We came across Delta State as a state that supports entrepreneurship. And that was the driving force that brought us into Delta State. And ever since we had been around in Delta State, it's been one success or the other.
The DBS staff were educated in various ways to utilize common fruits for improved health, with practical lessons in making fruit drinks and preparing jollof rice using watermelon, pineapple, carrots, and beetroot, among other fruits and vegetables. Favor for reporting.
Officers of the Delta State Traffic Management Authority, DESMA, have been charged to remain dedicated and law-abiding in the discharge of their duties to avoid acts capable of bringing the agency into disrepute. The Director General of the authority, Dr. Benjamin Okemute, gave the charge at a two-day orientation and training workshop on ethical conduct and discipline for provost and intelligence officers of the agency. Henry Unogwa reports.
Declaring the workshop open, Dr. Okemute said the exercise was part of efforts to instill discipline and ethical standards among DESMA officers across the state, adding that Delta State remained the first in the Federation to train and inaugurate a Department of Surveillance and Intelligence within its Traffic Management Authority. The DESMA boss noted that the newly created department would be responsible for ensuring the proper flow of information between the headquarters and field officers, enforcing traffic regulation, and sensitizing road users on safety laws.
There should be a regulatory department that oversees the men in DESMA. But by the first time we came here, we saw a lot of lacuna loopholes, lack of respect for their seniors. They don't believe there is what is called law. They don't know who is senior, who is junior, who is just coming in. Bringing in the provost department, we believe there is going to be a proper discipline in DESMA.
Resource persons at the workshop spoke on surveillance and intelligence gathering, highlighting data collection, analysis, interpretation, dissemination, and feedback.
When you continuously monitor either a location or a place or a group, and why are you monitoring? You are monitoring so that you can have what you need for that location.
Participants expressed satisfaction with the training, promising to put the knowledge gained into practice in their daily operations. Henry Onogwa reporting.
The Federal Road Safety Corps (FRSC) has called on all Nigerians to take greater responsibility for their safety on the road as part of efforts to reduce road crashes during the last months of the year. The State Sector Commander of the FRSC, Commander Joyce Alexander, gave the charge as the Corps flagged off the Ember Month campaign at its headquarters in Asaba. The event, held simultaneously across all FRSC commands, brought stakeholders together to discuss issues affecting the nation's transport system and promote safer road practices. Sams Ohojite reports.
Commander Alexander emphasized that safety on the road was the responsibility of all, whether as drivers, passengers, or pedestrians. She noted that the last month of the year were usually marked by increased travel and busy roads, resulting in increased road crashes, and called on governments, security agencies, transport unions, traditional rulers, community leaders, and all citizens to join efforts in making the roads safer.
As part of the activities mapping this year's campaign, like I said before, we held a press conference on the 20th of October and the motorcade rally on the 22nd to take the message of safety directly to the public. Today's town hall meeting takes that conversation a step further. It gives us a chance to learn, ask questions, and find practical solutions to the road safety challenges in our communities.
The Commissioner for Transport, Honorable Onoriode Agofure, represented by the Permanent Secretary in the Directorate, Mr. Victor Omoniye, said the state government remained fully aligned with the FRSC and other relevant agencies in efforts to maintain safety and order on roads in the state. He revealed that new road monitoring and registration systems had been introduced in the state aimed at checking expired licenses, vehicle documents, and traffic violations, and cautioned motorists against reckless driving, warning that offenders would be automatically billed and notified via their registered phone numbers.
The era of driving with expired driving license, expired particulars, hitting traffic, driving anyhow on our road we are going to put a check to it.
The Obuzo of Ibuzo, Obi Lois Momboshi, represented by Mr. Ulu Wane, commended the FRSC for maintaining a strong reputation as one of the few agencies that commanded public respect and credibility. He dismissed claims by some that road accidents were caused by blood-sucking demons, describing such notions as stemming from ignorance and emphasizing that most crashes occurred due to recklessness, disregard for safety rules, and lack of responsibility by road users.
Road safety has a huge reputation that goes with it. And that is when we talk of agencies that extort passengers on the road. I think road safety, people are reluctant to condemn road safety.
The theme of the 2025 Ember Month flag-off campaign is "Take responsibility for your safety. Stop distracted driving." Sams Ohojite reporting.
The Director General of the Delta State Bureau for Communications and Orientation, Dr. Fred Ogenesiwe, has said there are no plans by defectors to hijack the Delta All Progressives Congress APC in the state, as alleged by a former lawmaker on a television program. Dr. Ogenesiwe, in a statement yesterday, said Elder Omeni Sobote had been and remained the state party chairman, while other positions were being occupied by those holding various party positions before Governor Sheriff Oborevwori led the entire structure of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) to join the APC in April this year. He said Governor Oborevwori, as the leader of the party in Delta State, had been working harmoniously with stakeholders across board and would continue to do so with all sincerity of purpose. Dr. Ogenesiwe appealed to aggrieved persons to align themselves with the expanded APC family in the state and work with the state party chairman and other stakeholders while refraining from divisive statements. The federal government has commenced the disbursement of interest-free loans to over 30,000 workers in universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education across the country. The initiative, introduced under the Tertiary Institution Staff Support Fund, aims to improve the welfare of academic and non-academic staff. Minister of Education Dr. Tunji Alausa launched the scheme at the Federal University of Technology, FUTA, Akure, Ondo State, describing it as part of President Bola Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda. Dr. Alausa explained that more than 9,000 applications had already been approved out of the 30,000 received, with over 400 beneficiaries having received payments. He said the zero-interest loans, which were capped at 10 million naira or 33% of annual gross salary, would support housing, healthcare, transportation, and small business ventures for staff in both federal and state-owned institutions. The FUTA Vice-Chancellor, Professor Adenike Oladiji, thanked the federal government for including the institution in the first phase, while appealing for more funding and stability in the university system. Meanwhile, the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has rejected the initiative, describing it as a ploy to enslave university workers. The federal government says over 1 million out-of-school children across the country will soon be enrolled in formal education. Minister of Education Dr. Tunji Alausa announced this at the 69th National Council on Education meeting in Akure, Ondo State. He said the program is being implemented in collaboration with the National Commission for Amajiri and Out-of-School Children Education. Dr. Alausa explained that the initiative involves mapping children in 12,600 communities, with many already identified in the Federal Capital Territory. He added that more than 15,000 learners have been enrolled through 109 functional learning centers and transit schools established across the country. The Senate has approved a new bill prescribing up to 14 years in prison for teachers and lecturers found guilty of sexually harassing students in tertiary institutions. The legislation was passed yesterday in Abuja. The bill, titled Sexual Harassment of Students, Prevention and Prohibition Bill 2025, seeks to protect students from all forms of sexual misconduct in schools. It also makes clear that marriage between an educator and student is the only acceptable defense, while consent will not be recognized where a teacher-student relationship exists. The Senate leader, Senator 8Pm.Thursday, said the measure would promote integrity and respect within Nigeria's educational system. The bill now awaits presidential assent before it becomes law. The federal government will soon unveil a new National Railway Development Roadmap to connect all 36 states by rail. Managing Director of the Nigerian Railway Corporation (NRC), Dr. Kayode Okwefa, announced this at the National Transport Conference in Abuja. Dr. Okwefa said the plan allowed states to develop rail projects under new constitutional provisions, adding that Lagos and Plateau states had started, while other states such as Ogun, Oyo, Edo, and Kano could link to existing lines. The NRC's long-term plan, tagged Vision 2520, aims to modernize the system, targeting electric trains within 5 years and expansion to 60,000 kilometers of track in 20 years. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) Chairman, Professor Joash Amukuton, has said the commission will work to reduce post-election court cases. He spoke in Awka, Anambra State, stressing that while candidates can still go to court, elections must be free, fair, and transparent. Professor Amukuton said the aim was for all parties, including those who lose, to accept results as legitimate. He acknowledged the challenges ahead, but reaffirmed INEC's commitment to strengthen public confidence in Nigeria's elections. The Nigeria Police Force has dismantled a major arms and kidnapping syndicate operation between Delta and Anambra states. The Delta State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Olufemi Abaniwanda, who disclosed this, said the breakthrough followed credible intelligence that led to the arrest of several suspects, including a female arms courier, Jamila Abubakar, and a notorious arms dealer, Ahmed Ibrahim, in Warri South local government area. He said weapons, ammunition, and cash suspected to be proceeds of crime were recovered during the operations, while further investigations traced ransom payments from kidnapping cases in Asaba to Ihiala and Nnewi in Anambra State. The police commissioner said the police arrested multiple suspects, recovering over 4 million naira believed to be ransom money, adding that the arrest also helped rescue 5 kidnapped victims and recover additional firearms and vehicles. In all, the police recovered 13 guns, nearly 600 rounds of ammunition, and arrested 77 suspects. The Delta Police Boss said the operations were intelligence-led and aimed at crippling the network supplying arms to criminal gangs in the region, giving assurance that investigations were ongoing to ensure all members of the syndicate were brought to justice. Still to come on the news, global leaders meet to discuss climate action. Details of this and more coming up shortly.
Some say learning is fun, but as a mom, I see how demanding it can be for my child. That's why I ensure he starts every day with a cup of Bonvita. Bonvita, prepare them to win every day.
If tanker wey carry fuel fall or pipe wey carry fuel for underground burst, wetin you go do? You go begin bae fuel put for your bucket, or you go run comot far for where the fire go soon come. Na only small time you get to take this wise decision. Waka comot, no, that one no dey enough. Shift, no, that one no dey enough. Stay there dey gist and take pictures with your phone. That's na madness. Run, yes, run comot. Yes, your life depend on wetin you do. The fire go come at once and you no go fit control am. Why? Petrol dey catch fire easily. Why? Na just small spark go start big fire. So no stay there dey think. Run comot quick to save your life. No throw away your life away because of say you wan pack petrol. Take this advice. This informate na from Public Enlightenment Office, Delta Broadcasting Service, Asaba.
There is a small problem. Despite all the entertaining ads we've created for you, some of you still haven't tried our services. Come on. First of all, we are a licensed microfinance bank. Sorry about that. For instance, you can open a business account with us and get our POS with it. It's good for your business.
99.99% reliable.
I love it. Our card, it dey work.
My money no dey hang.
You can open a business or personal account with us in minutes.
Ai na bude na daga wannan kujera.
Our customer care is available. Abby? When it comes to reliability, purity, convenience, and speed, you only need one bank.
Join millions of happy customers. Download the MoneyPoint app or find an agent near you to get started.
This ad is a MoneyPoint ad. Don't forget that.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us on the news. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has told world leaders at climate talks in Brazil that the consensus on fighting climate change is gone. Speaking ahead of COP30, Prince William said the Earth is edging dangerously close to tipping point, adding that the threat of climate change was fast approaching. The United Nations chief Antonio Guterres said it was virtually impossible to keep to the international target of limiting global warming of 15 degrees centigrade. But US President Donald Trump, who announced in January he will leave the Paris Agreement, and president of the world's biggest emitter of planet-warming gases, China's Xi Jinping, are unlikely to attend. Nancy Pelosi has announced her retirement from the United States Congress, ending a decade-long career that saw the Californian Democrat become one of the most powerful figures in U.S. politics. In a video message today, Pelosi said she would not be seeking re-election to Congress at the end of her term in January 2027. It marks the end of a storied political career. Pelosi, 85, became the first woman to serve as Speaker of the House and led her party in the lower chamber of Congress from 2003 until 2023. Pelosi was first elected to Congress to represent San Francisco in 1987, aged 47, and quickly rose through the ranks. She was elected by her party to be Speaker of the House in 2007, becoming the first woman to serve in that role. She served until 2011 when Democrats lost control of the lower chamber, before returning to the Speaker's chair from 2019 to 2023. Typhoon Kalmegi made landfall in Vietnam today after killing at least 114 people and flooding entire towns in the Philippines. More than 260,000 soldiers were on standby for rescue efforts as winds of up to 149 km per hour hit the country's coastline, according to Vietnamese media and the government's online portal. 6 airports in the country have been forced to close and hundreds of flights are expected to be affected. The typhoon made landfall in Vietnam at 1929 local time. About 30 minutes later, hundreds of residents in 2 communes of Dak Lak province called for help, local media reported. The federal government says it is working to build strategic food reserves to boost food security, stabilize prices, and provide financial support for farmers. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Mr. Abubakar Kyari, made the announcement during a tour of agricultural facilities in Kaduna alongside his deputy, Mr. Abdullahi Aliyu, and other stakeholders. Mr. Kyari said the initiative would allow farmers to engage in year-round farming, including the dry season, and address concerns over rising input costs and fluctuating food prices. He assured farmers that the government was committed to balancing citizen welfare with support for the agricultural sector. During the tour, the minister expressed satisfaction with local food production and processing efforts, noting that farmers and processors are responding to President Bola Tinubu's call for enhanced food security. Facilities visited include Olam Agri, TMDK Agro Park, and Tomato Jaws, the latter aiming to produce high-quality tomato paste from local produce to support smallholder farmers. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company (NNPCL) says it plans to increase its stake in the Dangote refinery to 20%. Group Chief Executive Officer of the NNPCL, Mr. Bayo Ojulari, who made the announcement at the Abu Dhabi International Petroleum Exhibition and Conference, said the company was also working to revive 3 of its idle refineries. He added that the NNPC was becoming more transparent and was now publishing monthly performance reports as it prepared for a public listing required by the Petroleum Industry Act. The Dangote refinery, which has a production capacity of 650,000 barrels per day, began operations last year. It has, however, faced challenges from cheaper imported fuel entering the Nigerian market. In sports, the Yoruba College Efrun Uwia local government area has emerged the winner of the 9th edition of the Zenith Bank Delta Principals Cup. The school defeated Ogrijo Grammar School 2-1 in a keenly played final football match at the Stephen Keshi Stadium, Asaba. Perebotu has details.
The grand finale of the competition was attended by Governor Cherif Uborowori, represented by his deputy, Sir Monde Oyeme, the leadership and members of the state legislature, members of the State Executive Council, among other personalities. Governor Cherif Uborowori, in his remarks at the occasion, disclosed plans by his administration to commence a special program to discover and train talented players discovered from the Principals Cup and other competitions. The governor said the special program would help to develop skills and prepare them for opportunities at the state, national and international levels. He said the Principal's Cup was not just a football competition, but part of the more agenda with focus on youth and sports development, and commended the Zenith Bank PLC for sponsoring the annual tournament. The governor congratulated the winner of the 2025 Principal Cup, Orobo College Efru, saying the teams showed great football skills, teamwork, courage, and determination field of play. He advised the players to keep training while also taking their studies seriously, as education remained the solid foundation for every great dream.
We believe that education goes beyond the classroom. The lessons you learn on the field, teamwork, discipline, and perseverance are the same lessons that lead to success in life. To all our young talents, keep training hard, listen to your coaches, and never forget your studies. Education is the solid foundation for every great dream.
The Commissioner for Secondary Education, Mrs. Rose Ezewo, said the Zenith Bank Delta Principals Cup had continued to improve and discover budding talents, and pledged government's determination to enhance quality sports and education.
Since the inception, this tournament has grown in stature and impact on helping grow football from our secondary schools, who have gone to represent Delta State and even Nigeria in national and international competitions.
The winning school, Orobo College Efru, was later presented with a trophy, medals, a brand new Ayas bus, and 2 million naira, while the Ogbejo Grammar School Ogbejo got 1.5 million naira, among others. I am Pere Botu reporting.
Next is the thought for the day. Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. To end the news, here again are the main points. The State Governor, the Right Honorable Sheriff Obuiwori, has approved the release of 8.4 billion naira to the Delta State Oil Producing Areas Development Commission, DESOPADEC, to offset long-standing obligations lingering over a decade. The Commissioner for Works, Rural Roads and Public Communication, Mr. Charles Oniagu, disclosed this while briefing newsmen shortly after a meeting between the Governor and the management of DESOPADEC at the Government House, Asaba. The Senate has approved a new bill prescribing up to 14 years in prison for teachers and lecturers found guilty of sexually harassing students in tertiary institutions. And abroad, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer tells world leaders at climate talks in Brazil that the consensus is gone on fighting climate change. That's the news. You can also follow our news online on Facebook or YouTube at Delta Broadcasting Service Asaba, or visit our website www.dbsasaba.com. Many thanks for watching. I am Ogaga Ekama. Good evening.
Governor Sheriff once said, a modern Delta is not a dream, it is a vision we are actively bringing to life. When you hear of Governor Sheriff's trip to Brazil, to China, it is a testament of Governor Sheriff's commitment to bringing world-class standard infrastructure